30 ways to get leads. Yes, you heard me right. 30 ways to get leads. Stick with me right to the end, to the 30th one. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to take your business to the next level. I'm positive that you'll take at least 10 out of these 30 and implement them into your business and turn you into a real estate rock star. Okay. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining me here on YouTube, or maybe you're on the podcast. That's fine too. I hope you get value from this information. And this is what we're going to be doing today is you're going to be looking at an unedited version of a weekly coaching session that happened in August of 2023. Okay, so get your pens ready and make notes because this is going to be moving fast and this is going to be a ton of information coming at you. Block off an hour, get all the distractions out of the way, and get ready to watch this video, okay? If you're watching on YouTube, please hit like, subscribe, share, do all that kind of stuff. There's other people that need this information as well. And that would be so much appreciated if you can get that shared, get that out there. If you're listening on the podcast, give me a rating. That'd be fantastic. I hope you find a way to make some notes if you're listening to it on the podcast. All right, let's jump right on over to the session. All right, enjoy. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Everybody's coming on in. I think that would be fine. How's the mic? Can you guys hear? Does it sound okay? Sounds good? Okay, awesome. I'm still in this little different format right now because my wife has taken some materials out of my little studio here because our house is for sale. Oh, the things you do, hey? The things you do. Hey, everybody on Facebook, thanks for joining today. So, yeah, okay, Jeremy's coming in. Let's get him in there too. So some people will be kind of popping in here in the next little bit. This is great. So I think on Facebook, you can read this part. Hang on, I got to kind of show you. It's a little bit lower. I had to write it backwards. I don't know, for whatever reason, the camera goes backwards on Facebook. I don't know how to change that or make it better. If anybody's got some suggestions on that, feel free to comment. That would be awesome. But yeah, anyway, okay, so let's kick in on this. So 50 ways to get leads. Crazy. How is he going to do 50 in an hour? Because I'm a bit of a yapper, right? What I did do, though, I'm going to tell you guys what I did. I trimmed it down. Okay, Tracy's coming in. Okay, I think that's everybody. I think I got everybody. So what I did is I kind of took out a few. I just went through the list again. And I thought, let's concentrate on some things that could be helpful for you. There are some in there that are kind of repeats in a way. So I can kind of flesh out some of them and then that'll cover like another couple actually. So I trimmed it down to about 30 to talk about, which is a lot. 30 ways to get leads, right, guys? Just keep in mind, like for me, this is how I think, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna really just oversimplify everything for a second, and really, if you have an attitude every day that you are in real estate, you have one job to do. Okay, the one job is to be building a list of people to serve. Like that is your job, constantly. And then you're just serving people, doing the things, right? As we talk about all the time. But like constantly building that list. Like if a day goes by and you haven't built that list, you have to feel like you're going backwards. That's how it has to feel. Okay? It really has to feel that way. You should feel like I'm not moving forward if I'm not doing something that is pushing the ball down the field to meet another person. One person, two people a day is the best. Okay, and these are working days, right? So if you've created a lifestyle where you're working 5 days a week, that's what I mean, right? The working days, right? If you're taking days off and you're with family and that's your focus on that day, well, then you can't be thinking about lead generation that day. If that's your whole day for your family, then you want to focus on that, right? So that's what I mean by that. But if you can focus on 2 leads a day, okay? So how do you do that? Like there's lots of different ways, but if you're always in that mode of that's my job all the time, here's some rules, okay? Rules of engagement before we get into the 30 lead generation ideas. Rules of engagement. Commit to 2 to 10 of these activities, okay? So just surrender to the fact you may not do all 30 of them, okay? And you may adopt like another 2, right, of some sort that you're just going to implement into your activities, and you're going to commit to doing them. Okay, so there's nobody that's doing all 30 of these. I don't care who you are. The most successful agent in the world is not doing all 30 of these, okay? Now, some are short-term kind of activities where you're kind of building towards something, right? And then some of them are like consistent activities, okay? These other ones that you're building towards, those, they require a lot of prep, maybe even some money investment and stuff like that. And that might be a limiting factor for you, where you may go, okay, I can't do that right now, but that's a great activity, right? So get ready to make notes, okay, guys, because I'm going to be talking pretty fast. So just be able to write down or type or however you're doing it. And others are just like creating new habits. You're like implementing a new thing that is now going to become part of your life, okay? However that is, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, every single day, whatever it is, okay? Number 3, put yourself on a schedule to do the activities that you commit to doing these chosen activities. Okay, so you have to create a schedule for this that you commit to. Okay. Number 4, know this: people like to be communicated with differently, so you need some variety in how you do things and how you lead generate. There's different people like to be communicated differently. Okay, and you got to be sensitive to that, and you got to be able to reach them in those kind of avenues that they're in. Okay, and there's quite a few now these days. 5, follow-up systems. A system of follow-up is key. Don't give up on the follow-up. Okay, whatever it is, it is. I am going to keep contacting them. I'm going to keep sending them information. I'm going to keep asking them questions until they tell me to F off. Okay, whatever it is, it could be that, or it could be, you know what, I'm going to contact them 5 times. If they don't get back to me 5 times, then I'll put them on a back burner. Maybe I'll hit them once a month, put them in a C category, and they'll go into my newsletter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of do those types of things too. And they go into a nurture sequence where they just kind of get something at some point throughout the process of the year, right? And they may unsubscribe, or they may say stop this or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you kind of know, right? But whatever it is, it is. So you got to create a system of follow-up, however you choose to do that. But just think about it and be intentional about everything you do, right? Everything should always be intentional. Okay, so that's that. And using a variety of communication options, right? Texts, phone calls, emails, mass email type things, social media type touching, messenger messages, tagging, whatever, right? Lots of different ways. Number 6, consistency is the key. This is the whole thing to everything. It's always going to be the thing that people preach, me included. Morning, Jeremy. Okay, I'm gonna yeah, just reminded me to open up the chat here just in case you guys have something. Smoke signals are good. Yes, smoke signals. Writing songs for each client. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so consistency is the key. Daily, weekly, monthly habits and activities that need to be scheduled in and completed. Imagine someone firing you from a job if you don't do these things. So whatever you commit to doing and you've scheduled it in and you've decided this is going to be the activities that I'm going to perform, whatever it is, imagine if you don't do it, someone's firing you. Okay. And that's a question you should ask yourself as a realtor all the time. At the end of the month, go, you know, would I have been fired this month if I had a boss, right? Something to think about. Okay, let's get into it. I might make notes. So I'm going to erase here. Can't find my eraser suddenly. Oh, Nicole. Yeah. She grabbed it. She was using it. Look at her. She's coming. Okay. Anyway, it's okay. My eraser's gone. Okay. Number 1. Here's a super simple one anyone can do. Add this to your list no matter what. Thank you. Add this to your list no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. Hand out business cards wherever you go. Do not be embarrassed to hand out business cards. Always leave business cards for showings, all that kind of stuff. If you happen to meet the seller and you have a good engagement, right? This happens sometimes when we're doing showings. I've had this happen, you guys. I met people, but if I didn't leave a card, then they kind of know who I am because of the showing, but there's nothing there to kind of grab, right? Always leave a card. Leave a card. When you go out for dinner and you leave a very good tip for your waitress, just leave a card. You never know what's going on there. Cards all the time. Cards. Here's my card. Here's my card. Here's 2 cards. Oh, I might have somebody. Okay, here's 2 cards. One for you and one for the person you're going to refer to me, right? Giving out cards. Be super like ninja about it, okay? You just whipping cards around all the time. Always giving out business cards, okay? I do it all the time. I had a meeting with a guy the other day. He was talking about listing a property. And then he said, oh, my mother might be looking to do something. And she does have a realtor. I said, well, give her my card. I'd love to have an opportunity to kind of talk to her about what we do. You know, we don't have a relationship yet. So maybe she doesn't think I can really help her out. But if we have a chance, I can meet with her. And he goes, yeah, I think you'd be great to help her out. And so I gave him a few cards, right? There's somebody else popping in here. So business cards, that's an easy one. Hey guys, non-stressful. So that's a really easy one. Just get into that habit. Always have business cards on you. And you know, I've even talked to you guys about when you're doing your neighborhood stuff, where you have a separate card that says I'm your neighborhood specialist, and that's standing up. It's folded. It's standing up on the counter. It stands above the rest. I met some people the other day at a showing. They actually screwed up and didn't know the showing was happening. It was their fault, not the realtor. The realtor had let them know. They just got confused on days. I show up. The lady was actually having a nap. It was weird for a little bit. But then we got talking because now they're home, right? They got talking. We got chatting a little bit. My business card I put there, of course. They then, 2 days later, came to an open house that I was in. They remembered me. We had a great conversation. They said to me, we've got your card. They weren't saying, I'm going to have my agent. They're going, I've got your card. I said, yeah, but I'm respecting the relationship, of course. But if anything happens negative with that relationship they already have, I now have a great impression and they've got my card. They even said that to me. I've got your card. Right? Guys, don't miss anything. Okay? Man, I went way too long on that one. Okay, here we go. Calling your phone book of people and ask for 1 referral per day. 5 per week. Right? Hey, you know anybody? I'm getting real busy right now. I've been doing this, doing some cool stuff up on this area, doing some open houses this Saturday. Really loving real estate. Do you know anybody that's kind of looking to do anything? Do you know anybody, is there anything that can help me out, get me going? Right? If you're new in the business, there's nothing wrong with that. Letting people know you're open for business. Okay? Letting people know you're open for business. You should get to a point where you don't even need to ask for referrals. People start referring business to you. That's the business you want to build, of course. But in the very beginning, or when you're trying to ramp up momentum or anything like that, make that an activity. Okay? There is nothing wrong with doing that. That is not off-putting in any way. Okay? Run a social media contest or a giveaway to increase your following. Okay? To get more people liking your page or coming to your open houses, or create a contest that's creative. There's a bit of a win there for people, and do it over time. And then you can even recognize when people tag you in things, or they share your posts, or things like that. You get creative about it. Okay, so I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds on that one, but that is one thing you could do. Okay, become a blogger. Daily, weekly, monthly. Share the blog on social media and give expert advice. Okay, Tracy's doing that in another way. She's doing vlogging, right? Telling people about different things that are going on. I do that all the time as well. Be an authority, right? Jeremy, I see you doing things like that all the time too. And it's good to do. Like, it just be an expert, be an advocate, be somebody. You're not asking for business, you're just giving information. You're giving first, right? And you can do that through writing and then share it, and then people can read it and go, oh, that's great, I just learned something. Or it can be an actual video, that kind of stuff. So good to do. Start a meetup group of professionals. So a few people you like doing business with, as you start to build your group of people, and say, hey, let's have breakfast the second Wednesday of every single month, and let's just talk about business and talk about how we can help each other's businesses. Let's just get together and do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Have 5 to 10 people. If you get up to about 10, that's pretty good, because usually 5 will show up. You know what I mean? Not everybody can always make it all the time. But that's a good outreach thing to do, because those people are going to have access to other people as well. That's going to expand your network. And you can give value to each other in your businesses, right? You talk about, you have a financial planner. They have similar clients like that you want, right? Have a mortgage broker in there. Have, even a home inspector. Talk about some things that have popped up in home inspection. Like, maybe the home inspector has a story of something they discovered in a home inspection. Well, you can do a video on that, right? I was at my meetup group this week, and Bob, my home inspector specialist, he was telling me this story about blah, 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 blah. And it was really interesting. So this is something you should look out for, or make sure you check, right? There you go. You just got that from your meetup group. Okay. So that's a good way of doing things. Number 6, do neighborhood video content and let the neighbors know. So I added that part. So neighborhood video content. So what's cool about a specific neighborhood, right? And there's a bunch of neighborhoods in your area, and each neighborhood has a little bit of a characteristic to it. And if it happens to be a neighborhood that you've identified as your target neighborhood, right, your hunting ground, that's even better. You do various videos on that, right? So those are really good to do. And then you tag the neighborhood, use all the right hashtags. You got the YouTube channel stuff going on. You put it into your social media, all that, right? Start building it up. 7, co-brand or co-market with local businesses. Co-branding, co-marketing with local businesses. And pick those local businesses that you think your target market that you've established through all your research and all the stuff that we teach is also kind of, maybe they would frequent that. That's the best ones, right? Businesses that your target market actually cares about, or would like to know more about, right? And you could, there's like, businesses spend a lot of money to get business, right? They spend a lot of money to get people coming in the door a lot of times. And if all they had to do was give away an appetizer or one meal, and then just really wow those clients, right? Those customers. And if they just really wowed them, that customer would come back. And if they did something again to wow them, that customer would come back, and that customer would talk about it. And they'd be taking pictures and Instagramming it and promoting that business, right? So that's your conversation with this business owner, right? You spend a lot of money getting people in. Why don't we, when we get them in, really wow them and let them do the marketing for you, right? So instead of spending money on slapping spaghetti into the wall, why don't you spend money on wowing people, right? So how can we make something sort of a win-win, right? I'm going to promote you. I'm going to do a video on you. I'm going to send out a newsletter, and I want to put a coupon in there, right? That coupon is going to promote your business. So these are things that you can kind of do to do some co-marketing with like-minded businesses that are attracting the clientele that you're hoping to try to attract, right? Okay. Volunteer at neighborhood events, right? There's always stuff going on in your community. Call them up and go, hey, can I volunteer? Can I help out? And then you promote it. And then you promote that you were promoting it. And then you promote that you're volunteering at it. And then you promote that you were there. And then you promote how awesome it is. Are you talking about real estate? No. But you're endearing yourself into the community as a community agent. They know you're a realtor already, right? But it's nice to show them that you're actually a human being too, that cares, right? And is involved with the community. So super important thing is to do that. When you start to be important in your community, it really does change the game. It changes the game, man. It elevates your name big time. Um, and it also is kind of cool. You end up meeting people that you never would have met, right? You end up meeting other volunteers. You end up making new friends. There's so many other good things that come out of it other than just getting leads, right? But leads will come because of it. They will. They may not come immediately, but they will come because of it. Where am I now? Okay, number 9, create a networking event with a bunch of business people that have like-minded interests. So you can actually kind of, and this would take some investment. And sorry, I got messages coming in there. There we go. This would take a little bit of investment, but you're kind of you're the rallier. You're the person who's kind of organizing this thing, and you're trying to create a whole bunch of business people to come in and talk to each other and get to know each other. And there has to be some sort of attractor factor. So maybe if you're good at this and feel comfortable at it, maybe you're speaking on something that they would all want to know about, or you're bringing in somebody that's speaking on something that everybody would want to know about. And these are things just to think about. So just, I'll let that incubate in your brains. Okay, where am I here? Postcard farming, that works with farming. Postcard farming is an investment, and it's something that you got to do over and over and over and over again. The first 7 times that you send it out, they're not even seeing it. Just understand that, know that, understand you got to invest in it. The first 7 times, it's the rule of 7. Okay, so it's an investment, but it's got to have a hook to it. And so if you're going to do postcard farming, that should link up with some other things, right? To make people want to keep the postcard or wake up to it. So maybe it has to do with the co-marketing you're doing with this business, right? Maybe it has to do with a neighborhood event that's going on. Maybe it has to do with, your social media contest. You can link your postcards, so the hard mail, with the internet. So now you're linking 2 sources together, right? And people are seeing it 2 different ways. So if you're going to do any kind of postcard farming, really got to think it through and be smart about it so that you get extra kind of mileage out of it from the other things that you're doing. Does that make sense? And then it's on your website and it's all linking together, right? You got links on your website that take you to, like, this post, get entered in for the draw for blah, 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 whatever, right? Okay. Create a real estate publication. And there's lots of ways to do that now. You can hire a Fiverr person. You ever heard of Fiverr? Fiverr. Fiverr is great. You've got people all over the world that can do things for you. And sometimes they can do it a lot cheaper than a North American person can do it for you, because it's just the way the money works. And like, our money goes different, means a lot different in other areas. So sometimes I can hire somebody in Nigeria, and to them, it's changing their life to get 300 Canadian dollars. That's like getting $10,000 here in Canada, right? So to them, that's huge. So I love supporting that kind of thing, and they do great work. They can design things for you, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm actually in the middle of working on a buyer's handbook right now, that people who become part of our team, and that's a whole other discussion. I mean, I'm happy to talk to you about that one day, but this coaching is not meant to talk about those things necessarily. But anybody that's part of our team, I'm going to make that available to them. I'm putting a ton of work into this and investment into this as a lead generator source. And this buyer's handbook that I'm designing personally right now, I'm almost done. I've been working very hard on this. I'm at over 11,000 words right now. Guys, this is not a puffy little, get your house ready for selling checklist book. Okay, this is actually an educational book that's actually going to be valuable to a buyer. It's actually going to have a lot of content in there. And I'll also tell you, it's focusing on first-time buyers, because we need to get the market injected from the bottom. It's focusing on first-time buyers, and it's focusing on British Columbia and the Lower Mainland. So it's very area specific for our group anyway, for whoever's in our group. And so it's something that I think is going to be super valuable, and we're going to use it as a lead generator source. So, and then you create a funnel from that, and there's some cool things you can do with that. But anyway, doing and you don't have to be that crazy. You can do just a basic handbook thing. People put in their email, they get an ebook sent to them. You've got their email address now. You follow up with them. Oh, you downloaded my buyer's book. Is there anything I can help you with? Are you just starting your research, and you started get into a conversation with somebody. It's a lead generator source. Number 12, create a strategic alliance group and maintain relationships and reciprocal referrals. So that's kind of a repeat of the meetup, really. It's kind of what it is, but I left it in there. Finalize your profile properly on all the real estate websites. Do you know how many real estate agents do not do this? Oh my goodness. So you are on more websites than you think. And because there's a lot of scraping that happens with all of these online kind of web producers out there where they kind of display listings. So find them and get yourself on them. And a lot of times, if you look, you can even Google yourself and see all the ones that you're on, believe it or not, a lot of times. And then you can see the ones that you have not fleshed out your profile on. And that's super important. And your Google profile too. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, making sure all your correct information in it is in there, your updated photo, even your updated office. There's people that have themselves out in the internet world in old office stuff too, right? So really important to do that. There's like homes.com, there's Zoocasa, there's even Zillow, where there's a lot of free ones. Realtor, what's your profile look like on realtor.ca? Have you fleshed out the about you and some of the things you do and links back to your pages and all that kind of stuff on rew.ca? That's free and you can upgrade and all that kind of stuff, but make sure all your information is correct in there and that you have a bit of a profile, a bit of a presence. So that's something that a lot of people don't do, and it's super important to do. Super, super important. So do a little work on that one day. Just kind of Google yourself, find all the little sites that are out there. And there's some out there too that maybe you not know about. Now that goes in your Schedule A. Once you get yourself fleshed out and you're able to enter listings into those or whatever, you can say, I'm on all these sites. Your listing will be on all of these sites, right? Some of them might be a nominal fee, but definitely worth doing that. Okay, where are we here? Start a YouTube channel. That's obvious. Everybody should have a YouTube channel. Definitely do that. And that's going to create your Google profile, right? So it needs to link out. So you want to have a business profile. Your business profile links with everything. And then you end up having a Google Drive, right? You get all the stuff that Google provides. You have a business profile. You start asking for reviews. That goes into your Google profile, builds up your profile in the eyes of Google. Then you start blogging, you start doing all these other things, your website stuff, link everything up with your Google profile, and you start building up your presence in Google. You become more relevant, right? When you do YouTube videos and you do them over and over again, it's all linked. That's all linked together. The most powerful search engine ever in the history of time, Google, owns YouTube, right? So doing videos, short form stuff, using that place to host things so that you can place them in other places too, like your websites and your social media and all that is super important. So anyway, obviously create a YouTube channel. Definitely got to do that. Okay. Get used to video. Doesn't have to be great. You got a video machine with you in your pocket all day long, every day. You have a videographer with you every day, all the time, right? Get used to it. It's not fun at the beginning, right, Gerald? But you know what? You're looking more comfortable now. At the very beginning, it was just like, I'm doing this because my coach told me to, right? But then, now it's great. And you're sharing yourself and people are going, this Gerald guy's a nice guy, right? They're getting to know you. It's awesome. Keep it up. Where are we here? Newspaper ads, you can still do them. I think some of them still work. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. I don't really do it much anymore. Most expensive. Can't measure it. But there's still people that love looking at those newspapers. Anyway, just throwing it out there. But maybe that newspaper ad needs to link something if you're going to do it. Maybe it's linking a partnership with a business. Maybe it's linking a campaign that you're doing on social media. Maybe it's, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to do it, maybe it should link a bunch of other things. So then you can try to measure what's coming from it, right? Maybe you put a little article in there. Maybe you put a little sentence in there about something people didn't know, a did you know thing, right? Maybe there's something in there about the buyers that you have that you're looking for things, right? And then a seller may look at that and go, oh, this person has lots of buyers for things. Maybe I'll call them up to list my property, right? Even though you can't double end anymore, but still the public thinks that way. So there's lots of different ways you could do with newspaper ads than just posting listings. If you're going to do it, pay extra for the color. Just do it. If you're going to do it. Okay, let's move on. Facebook ads, KV Core boost campaigns. If you're with EXP, we have an amazing, expensive and hard to quantify, but if you have an area that you farm extensively, then absolutely it can be a good resource. Yeah, for sure, Travis. And you know, the other thing about that is if your target market is maybe more like empty nester type people, they still read the paper as well. Something to think about. Just gonna move this thing, it's bugging me. There we go. Okay. Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So Facebook ads are actually super powerful because you can target. We did a whole thing on Facebook ads a few months ago. Facebook ads are very important. If you're with EXP and you have the KV Core program, you can do boost campaigns. We did boost campaigns on our listings last week, and I think I've got over 60 leads that have popped in on 4 or 5 listings that we have. I just did an aggressive kind of campaign. I wanted to see what would happen doing them all at once and doing a campaign. And then I wanted to measure a couple things just based on like how I chose an area and just a few things like that. So I was measuring and got some fantastic results. And it's very inexpensive compared to a lot of the things we spend money on to market. Good leads. So, and I use a 10 and 2 rule. So every 10 leads that come in, 2 of them I'm locking down one way or another, right? So 10 and 2. With ad campaign type leads, it's probably like a 20 and 2, because some people aren't really aware that their information got populated into a program when it goes through Facebook. They honestly didn't even know. So when you call them up, they're going, I didn't even know I did this. Like, you know, so and you can play along with that. Travis and I had some conversations with how you overcome some of those things. But anyway, still a good lead source. Every once in a while, I've created within the program, which so it's so awesome. I've created some nurture stuff where people are getting a little text, they're getting an email, and they're getting touched 5 times basically through those resources. And it's me speaking to them, but I don't have to do the work. It's kind of automated. But every once in a while, I'll get someone talking back to me as if they feel like they're talking to me. As soon as that happens, I'm now communicating with them personally. And we're now having a conversation, and we're just moving on to the next. We're just moving on to the next process of things to do. Show them some houses, whatever. And it happens. It works very, very well. But it is a little bit, because it's not all personal, right? It's less personal contact. They're not referrals. It's people still getting to know you. So there's a few barriers you got to break through on it, but it's very good for lead generation. Okay. Hey, Anna, good to see you. So those are great. Instagram ads. So you can set up your business profile with Facebook and link it with Instagram. So you can do that. There's pros and cons to that, but you can do that. So when you do ads, you can actually have them show up on both Instagram and Facebook. Some key elements to Instagram. If you haven't already, add realtor to your name, or real estate or realtor. So realtor should be in there because then that identifies you right away that you're in real estate. Lead with value instead of asking for listings. Never ask for business. I've watched a few guys, they stand there and they ask for business on their profiles, and no one's going to do business with them because they asked for it. And their mentality is, well, I got to ask for it, or they're not going to do business with me. And they will ask you. That's the way the world is now, if they're interested in you. So just give value, be yourself. Don't be offensive. Don't be polarizing. You know, if you have problems with our prime minister, that's fine. But we don't need to be talking about that on our real estate profile, right? That kind of stuff. So, and do hashtag research. There's apps out there that will help you with hashtag research. You can actually find out how hashtags are being used, and sometimes it pops up when you're punching in hashtags, even in Facebook and stuff, where it'll tell you how many times people are using them. The most popular ones, the ones that you think, oh, this is going to blow me up because 14 million people use this hashtag, that actually can work against you in some cases. So it's almost better to go into the middle zone of hashtag use. That's the sweet spot zone. Don't go for the most, because you'll just get dissipated into the mist of internet. And then there's some that are like, less than 1,000 or whatever. If there are less than 1,000, usually it's your name or your website address, or your handles, that kind of stuff. But put it in every time. Just keep doing it anyway. Okay, that's okay, because if people are looking for you, they're going to find you. You still need to put those in there. But the other aspect is the middle zone. You really want to hit that sweet spot in your hashtags. So there is apps for that you can download that are very inexpensive. I think there's some that are like $10. There's some that are free. Yeah, hashtags are starting to, because it's becoming such an enormous thing, but it's still viable right now if you're sticking within the sweet spot zone right now. So just think about that when you're thinking about hashtags. And you should have a minimum of 5. Just so you know. Craigslist and Kijiji. How many people post their listings on Craigslist and Kijiji as well? We always do. Every single time. We get leads out of Craigslist and Kijiji all the time. All the time. And it's good. Sometimes you can spend some money on Kijiji. Craigslist, for sure, we do it every time. But you got to identify yourself as in your office. You got to put all your contact information in there, and you got to identify yourself as a realtor. Super important that you do that in your office and your contact info on those. And actually, anytime you do ads, you should do that. You have to do that. 19, get reviews from your clients, and it is linked to your Google profile that you made when you started your YouTube channel. So we touched on that earlier. So yeah, get reviews and then post your reviews. What a great thing to post, right? On your social media. Someone said something great about you. Awesome. Post it. Have it on your website. Have it everywhere, right? Super important. And if you work really hard for people and you care so much for people, and you just have this passion to help people, that's all great. But if I stand here in a video and go, I try really hard for you, I take care of all the details, and I just think about you all day long, and I just want to make sure that you're happy at the end of the day, and I'll do whatever it takes to make you happy. If I'm doing a video that's saying that, it is not going to go over well. They're going to look at me like a desperate soul, right? And because I'm so passionate about it, I actually sound like I'm bullshitting, right? Honestly, this is the truth. But if Bob and Marion from Armitage Street, right, say all those things about Kelly Johnston, the power, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. I did an interview with a guy named John Schuchman. He's out in Ohio. And he said something in our podcast interview, and he says, I'm prepping people for the review, like first day. We haven't done a deal yet. I'm prepping them for the review. We'll do something funny in the middle of a showing. We'll open up a house and we'll see 9 cat litter boxes, and we'll all laugh about it. And then I'll say, that'll be funny to put in the review, huh? Right? Like he's prepping people for the review during the process. Like just kind of planting it in their brain that they're going to be doing a review at some point. And I thought, you know what? That is genius. Because, and that's not being overly self-serving or anything like that. It's purely just going, well, you need these reviews for your business, right? And that's the way to do it now. Post on, so that's the only way to do it. Reviews mean a lot. We're in a review society now. We want to book a hotel room in some area that we're going to go stay. We're looking at the hotel room. We're reading all the reviews on the hotel. If we're reading reviews on everything, if they say to go to a restaurant, we look at the restaurant, we read the reviews on the restaurant, and decide whether or not to go there. Right? So reviews are super, super important, guys. Okay. And it should link with your Google profile and all that. And of course, we talk about this all the time, expired listings and FSBOs, right? For sale by owners and expireds. Super, super important. And we have a whole process for that. We have a letter system, we have call systems, we have scripts, we have everything in place for that through our training program. So that's super easy to get. Door knocking is another one. Some people love door knocking. There's some people that I know that actually say the words, I love door knocking. I am not one of those people. I cannot stand the idea of door knocking. I've never done it. But it is effective for some people. And I will say, I'll just add this thing to it. Okay, great. Go door knock if you want to. But the thing is, first of all, if you're going to do it, if you're going to spend the time, do a bunch of prep prior to doing it. Establish the neighborhood you want to be in. Establish the price point that is most effective. Establish a neighborhood that, or an area that you want to door knock that actually a lot of buyers want to buy in, right? And meets like criteria that you've designed that meets with the type of business you want to do. At least do that if you're going to do it, okay? At least do that. And then if you want to add to that, be the neighborhood specialist of that area then, right? Know everything about it. Have intimate knowledge about the neighborhood. Also see all the listings in that neighborhood or in that genre, right? Price point, product type. At least see all the listings, or at least be busy in that. And if you don't have buyers buying in it, go look at the houses anyway, right? Be a specialist then. So when you get into these conversations, you actually have some good stuff to talk about with these people. And it's just going to come out of you because you've educated yourself and you've filled yourself up with it, right? So super important. If you're going to do door knocking, then prep yourself for it, right? Get ready for it and make sure it's intentional. You can host a webinar for a buyer type. You can host a webinar like kind of online, or you could do it live, right? Where you actually do a seminar, right? Either way, you can do that. It takes a little bit of work. Takes away, you need some lead time for that. You want to build up an audience for it. You want to be able to give super good value. You got to be able to communicate that value. You got to communicate the pain, right? That's a really key element to anything like that. You have to be able to communicate the pain well, because when you communicate the pain, the things they don't know, the things that can happen if they don't know this stuff, right? The pitfalls. If you could communicate that really well and go, but don't worry, I got you. I've got the solutions for all of that. Come see me on Thursday, whatever, right? But communicating the pain is a big element to that, to get people to attend your webinars, because they have to be able to kind of go, oh yeah, that is something I'm scared of, right? That is a fear of mine. That is a confusion I have, right? If you can communicate what's going on in their brain, right? And then be able to get that across and then offer solutions for that, then they're gonna attend and it gives value to them. So that's one way of doing it. First time home buyers, investor seminars, even empty nester type stuff. How many empty nesters get talked to about things, right? Pitfalls of this and pitfalls of that. Maybe it's maybe some empty nesters need to buy on First Nations land and save a couple $100,000, right? And just explore it, get to know about it. No pressure. I don't have any listings for that, but let's talk about it. Maybe there's some opportunities for you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, to downsize and actually enjoy your life and put some money in the bank, right? So things to think about. Pardon, I have to take a drink. Pardon me, guys. Okay. Oh, what happened there? Oh, see, I was trying to do something. Get out of there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Are we back? Okay. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Um, okay. Um, Getting merchandise logoed to you, and it can be shirts, hats, pens, pads, whatever. But you should have some stuff. Nicole and I are starting to design that as well. But that's not a bad way to kind of reinforce your brand, reinforce who you are. Things that people could use over and over again, right? Not a bad idea to do that after a deal is complete or the first time they meet you or whatever. Those are kind of, have a little swag. That's another way to kind of get your name out there a little bit more as well. Keep it in touch with past clients. Wow. Hey, guys, that's a must. Like, no matter what, past clients, past people that you've been in different jobs with, different sports organizations with, church stuff, whatever, right? Like past anything. Good to touch base with, but definitely keeping in touch with past clients in a very organized format, like in a way that is consistent. So by the time you get through all your clients, you're starting all over again, kind of thing, right? Just kind of keep it going. We talked a lot about that last week, actually. Neighboring farming campaigns for a minimum of 5 years, as per the 4X formula course. So that's the thing where that goes in concert with, expiries, FSBOs, with postcard campaigns, with neighborhood videos, with, like, you start linking everything together, right? You start putting all of these activities together and they're all linking to one hub, and that's all to get leads, right? Or it's one hub, and the hub, the intention of the hub, all these things that you're doing, right? Social media campaigns that are like maybe even a contest type thing. You've got a postcard campaign speaking to that. Maybe you're doing some ads for that. You're doing a YouTube video talking about that. Then you're talking about it on your social media, and all of that it's all pointing towards a goal that would be something like, I'm the neighborhood specialist in this area, or I'm authority on real estate for this price point genre. I'm whatever. It's pointing to something, right? I am a community-minded individual, right? I'm a family-minded individual. I'm whatever that is that you want to get across and have people all of a sudden think about you as. All of those things, that's the hub. All of those things are speaking to it. So you're becoming super intentional in what you're doing. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Open house hosting, doing open houses, best lead generator in the world, right? Doing open houses. I get a lead just about every time. Just about every time. Every once in a while I get skunked. Very, very rare, but yeah, if all I need is one. I just need one person to walk through that door that is, not a curious person, right? They're not doing anything, but I'm still going to make a good impression on them, right? All right, so that's open houses are great. Open houses, we do 4 videos on open houses in the course, right? That's how important open houses is. Open houses are crucial, and doing it right, doing it well, super important. Host a podcast that focuses on the community you serve, right? So now you're interviewing the mayor, you're interviewing business owners, you're interviewing key people in the community. Maybe you have guests that come on every 3 months to talk about the same thing. Maybe you bring on your board president, your of your board. Lots of things you could do. You could talk about all the community things that are going on as well on your podcast, and then talk about real estate values, different types of product types and stuff like that. So I'm actually thinking about doing that. So something to think about there. takes a little bit to get a podcast set up and all that, and be able to kind of put it all together. But yeah, could be cool. Client appreciation party. We used to do that back in the day. Haven't done it for a while, actually. But we used to take over the whole movie theater. We just pay the movie theater a certain amount of money, and we got the whole movie theater, and they got the people that came got popcorn and pop, and we just had a day, and it was great. It was awesome. We used to do things like that all the time. So that's something that you could do. You could do an intimate party. You could throw a dinner for your top 10 clients, right? Do a nice dinner, right? These are your strategic alliances. These are your A pluses. These are your referral sources. These are your people that are, that have become more important in your life and business. And doing a dinner. You know what, guys? I just wanted to throw a dinner, a very intimate dinner. You are my top referral sources, clients, A pluses that I am just so thankful for you. And I just want to cook you dinner tonight, So those are great things you can do. You can host it somewhere else. You could even take over a restaurant, a back room of a restaurant, and host it. There's lots of different ways to do that. You can have a barbecue, throw a tent up and have a barbecue in the middle of a park. Have a bunch of people show up, lots of different ways of doing that. Where are we here? We're getting close, guys. How are we doing for time? Perfect. Okay. Co-market with a builder. Okay. Drive around, look for some new construction. A lot of these builders don't list their properties right away while they're still building. And it's not a bad way to kind of get business. If you see a subdivision, you bump into some builders, some framers, you talk to some of the guys, boy, you walk through the plan. They're always open, right? You can just walk through them. I do it all the time. And I'll bump into a few guys. I'll say, hey, is the builder around? Oh, no, he's not here today. Okay, what's his name? And get his name and everything. And you find out. You can even pull a title search if you want to. When's he normally here? Oh, he doesn't ever come here. He's not an on-site builder. Oh, okay. Well, that's different, right? But there's framers there, right? There's guys doing the driveway. There's guys laying in plumbing, right? These are all leads. These are all people that buy houses, right? Every one of them. So you just become known around the job site, go in there once a week. Hey, how's it going, guys? Getting closer, right? Okay, awesome. When do you think it's going to be done? Do you know what price he's thinking about asking for these? I might have a buyer for this, right? Next thing you know, they're going, well, why don't we just list with you? You're here every week, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's easy time spent. And you should always know about the new subdivisions that are happening anyway, right? Because they help set values for the used product around it too. So you always know what's going on with new construction. So new construction is a really good lead source. I've done that many times. I can think of right now, real quick, 3 builders that I ended up working with, and those 3 builders I've been working with over a decade, over 10 years, off and on. I mean, they aren't enormous guys. They were people that kind of did things for a while, and then markets changed, and they just went into framing for a while, and they went back to building and buying lots again and building. That's 3 I can think of right now. They were kind of like that, and yeah, I've been working with them. It's great to have a listing source of some sort from new construction. Get good at representing a builder properly and representing his interests as well. Get good at that. New construction is great because you get a lot of people that are interested in new construction. So they'll come by, check it out, right? And then they most likely will have something to sell before they buy that new construction. So you start meeting people. So it's definitely a good lead source. So new construction is a good one, guys. Number 30, make an engaging email signature. Isn't that crazy? There should be some call to action on that email signature, maybe even a link that'll take people back to your site, a way for people to like get to your social media, your logo, your branding, tag phrase. Think about your email signature. It should be done well. Something to think about. Yeah. Okay, so that's the 30 things with the rules in place. Everybody good so far? Are you going to implement some things? Put your hand up. I'm absolutely going to implement some things in the next 30 days. Add them to my habits. Start planning, whatever they are, right? Okay, awesome. Okay, here's some bonus stuff. This is a bonus one. Co-list with other out-of-town agents, or get to know some out-of-town agents that aren't far from you, right? Within a 45-minute, hour kind of place. So depending on where you do business and where maybe some other buyers may come from or where sellers will maybe go to from your area. Does that make sense? And start forming relationships with those people, and they become your referral sources. You refer business to them, they refer business to you. And and even co-list sometimes. Sometimes people are really loyal to someone, but they don't want to do all the driving. They don't want to do all the stuff, right? And or they really like how you market. I've had that happen. They really like how we market, but they don't want to lose the listing. So in order to serve their client well, they'll co-list with us sometimes. We've had that happen, believe it or not. Actually, it's happened right now. We got 3 listings up in Promontory. Those are co-lists. You'd never know it by looking at the listings. It's a co-list right now. And we're fine. I don't care. It's a business we wouldn't have had before. It's a relationship I wouldn't have had before. It's a builder I never would have met before. Right? So who knows where that leads. So yeah, that's good for probably 5 deals a year doing that intentionally. 5 to 6 deals a year, right? Is that worth 50 grand to make some relationships? Right? Right? Anywhere from 25 to 50 grand, sure. That takes care of some marketing costs. So totally good business. And not only that, the business you get out of it, right? Every time you list something, every time you're helping a buyer, like, if you do a great job with them, they start referring people to you. Like, one client is worth 50, 60, 70, 80 grand in their lifetime to you, right? They're not just one deal. They're worth a lot. Each client, like each new brick you mortar in, right, is worth great value to your overall business, and treating them well and doing all that. So super, super important. So that's a whole other thing that was not on his list of 50, but I added that one because especially in our area where we operate and all that, that's a super key element, to have some strategic people that are a little ways away from you and stuff. I even have people up in 100 Mile, as an example, that's 5 hours away. Right? I got somebody in Kamloops. We got somebody in Kelowna. We got somebody in, on the island, over in Nanaimo, and, stuff like that. So, yeah, absolutely. Having those strategic relationships is super, super important. And that'll get you business over time. With the EXP system, it's even simpler, really. But you just start sending messages in with the work chats, and next thing you know, you're meeting people and you're putting things together. But take it to the next. I would just encourage you, take it to the next level and go meet those people and just make sure they're in alignment with how, your philosophies and how you like to operate. I think it's good to do that. Just because they're in the same company doesn't mean maybe they're the best fit for the people you're going to refer to. Like, so really think about that, because that's important to me. Like, whoever I'm referring business to or I'm doing business with in other areas, Alberta, we got a few in Alberta actually too. I have conversations with these people because I want to know that they're in alignment with how I like to deal with people. And I also ask them, I say, are you okay with us checking in on you and getting reported from you so that we can then report back? And also, by the way, if you need things signed or you need things organized or you need us to kind of go over a document with them, we're happy to do that here with the feet on the ground, even though they're coming out there and you're their realtor out there. But we're happy to kind of participate. We're not just emailing a referral and then not ever speaking to anyone ever again and waiting for our little check, right? We want to be involved with the transaction. So I do talk to them about that and let them know that, because I want them to know that that's kind of how we operate, and we like to kind of be part of it a little bit. We don't, and then when we go back to our people, we're saying that to them, right? We're not just blasting you off on a rocket ship over to somebody else and then not ever speaking to you again, right? And we're going to make sure that person's taking care of you. We're going to have them being accountable to us, and that's the value. And they're going to compensate us a referral amount. And I hope you're fine with that. We'll do a little signing on something, but just so you know, that's kind of what we'll do. But the value to you in all that is that we still have our hands in it a bit, And they're like, oh, well, that makes so much sense. That's awesome. Right. And then the people won't just lone wolf it and go find somebody in this other area. Right. If you've had that conversation with them, they're going to go, oh no, I got to wait for Kelly and Nicole to find someone for me. Right. Because there's value in that. So that's a key element, guys. Don't miss out on that money, man. People are moving out of town. Right. Go ahead, Trace, if you have something to say. Oh, you got to go. Okay.
I have to go.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go.
I just got it. Yeah. I just
I'll see you later. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, we're done anyways, guys. 11:01. That's perfect. So is that good? Everybody got value today?
Yeah.
Kelly, awesome. Can I just add in, like, I'm just that's one of the big main focal points for me lately is I go up to the Okanagan a lot, especially this summer, making a lot of connections with Okanagan-based real estate agents. And big name guys too, right? Because they have clients who are down here still, who are moving up there. So I make it, almost, I build that into, even when it's holidays, right? I was there for 7 days last week. It's like I met 5 agents when I was up there.
Good for you, man.
This is how you build your network, and just always be, even on holidays, you can still be kind of, you can be building that. We're sitting at Starbucks just yapping, right? But we're building our business still.
That's awesome, man. Good. Awesome, guys. So stuff to implement, right? Stuff to implement today, stuff to implement tomorrow, immediately. Okay. Awesome. Love that. Next week, let's leave it open, guys. We've done a lot of firing at you a bunch of information the last few weeks. So next week, we're going to make an open forum. Okay. So if you have things you want to talk about, or you want me to cover, or you want to dig into, get deeper on, feel free to bring that up. Talk about making those calls, and then these lead generation activities. Start choosing some things to dig into, and let's see how those are going. And if you need, kind of maybe some tips and maybe different ways of kind of thinking about how to approach it, or things like that, we can get, dig into kind of the minutia on some things. Love to do that. Okay, so we'll do that next week. All right.
100%.
Awesome day, and don't go changing.
Right. Have a good day, guys.
Okay, take care.